Ms. Artane Rizvanoli, who is the Minister of Economy of Kosovo. I welcome her. I thank her very much for her participation. I wish her all the best. The floor is yours, Minister, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dear ministers, political and business leaders, esteemed experts of North Macedonia and the region, distinguished guests. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today in Skopje representing Republic of Kosovo for the first time in the Delphi Forum. I would like to start by thanking the organizers, the Delphi Economic Forum, and particularly Mr. Tsomokos, for the invitation and for bringing us all together to discuss the challenges and policy actions that the countries in the region can adopt towards a prospect of enhanced economic growth and inclusion. It is difficult, but also an honor to hold an ending speech after so many substantive speeches and inputs on important topics of mutual interest, such as economic competitiveness, FDI, regional cooperation, and the prospect of EU integration for the region. This forum is being held at a time that we can hopefully call the verge of a post-pandemic era, having faced what is considered the greatest global health crisis and the biggest challenge we have faced since World War II globally. On the other hand, globally, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a positive impact on the environment with lower CO2 emissions due to reduced energy usage. These times have served as a stark reminder that the greatest challenges we face as humanity, such as this pandemic or the climate change, work way beyond country borders. Enemies like viruses and CO2 emissions don't require visas, unlike I do as a Kosovar citizen in order to go to the EU. These enemies affect all of us, and fighting them requires joint actions and solutions. Such actions and solutions can only be reached with effective cross-border coordination and cooperation. Needless to say, each one of our countries alone, small, relatively poor, and facing a range of institutional and socioeconomic challenges, are not self-sufficient. Alone, we don't provide markets that are large enough for our firms and to reap economies of scale, but also we face difficulties attracting FDI and even tourists. Therefore, economic cooperation and integration is a must. As a country, we particularly appreciate this, being faced with particularly strong challenges and resistance in the path of regional economic cooperation. For instance, within CEFTA, Republic of Kosovo has been consistently and repeatedly treated unequally and unjustly. Serbia does not recognize our country and as a party to the agreement and systematically implements non-tariff trade barriers against our goods. But I would like to reiterate, we think it's an imperative that we advance regional cooperation and integration. We also believe that this cooperation and integration must include engagement of the Western Balkan countries as equal members with equal rights, EU engagement in credible surveillance and resolutions mechanisms to ensure implementations of agreements, but also to enable acceleration of the process of integration toward full EU membership. However, we must not live under the illusion that economic cooperation and integration are sufficient. Our challenges lie way beyond that, and our economic conditions are merely one of the reasons why we do not create a good perspective for many of our citizens. As many esteemed speakers here today noted, emigration, particularly that of highly skilled individuals, is a challenge we face across the region today. Mr. Peter rightly noted that we should ask our youth why they want to leave. Is it only because of limited job opportunities and low wages, or is it more than that? We have actually done just that in Kosovo 2 years ago in a survey, and as you may well guess, the reasons extend well beyond. That should be a message to policymakers across the region, but also beyond, that working on economic integration alone is not sufficient for our countries. We can promote labor mobility, for instance, by recognizing each other's qualifications and abolishing work permits. However, these initiatives will not reach their full potential if we do not create enough jobs in the region, or if we create these opportunities, but we do not offer a better quality of life for youth, and they still continue to seek a living abroad. Similarly, in the absence of rule of law, legal certainty, and a corruption-free business environment, initiatives improving capital mobility will not reach their full potential. So, in addition to economic cooperation, growth, and opportunities, we need democratization, rule of law, anti-corruption, governmental accountability, and freedom of media. In this framework, new framework of regional cooperation that we propose, should also internalize these conditions, because this is the only way we can unleash the economic potential of our countries and improve the lives of our citizens. Finally, in order to build this shared future of prosperity and inclusion in the region, our citizens need to see a clear and tangible EU prospect. And that regional cooperation meaningfully contributes to such a perspective, rather than being perceived as a substitute for an unattainable EU dream. Thank you, and once again, thanks to the Delphi Forum for providing this invaluable opportunity for exchange and cooperation in the region. I think the sessions here today have shown that there is great potential for us to learn from each other, from our failures, but also from our successes in many areas, including in attracting FDI, energy, decarbonization, and many of our joint dreams. And this has been a great opportunity and a great forum to be part of, so thank you.
Minister, thank you very much. I think your remarks are quite important for this conference. Before we conclude, let me ask you, what are the prospects for the growth of the economy in Kosovo in the post-pandemic era? Do you think that you have potential to grow more during these years, months to come?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the recent months, we have very strong indications in all economic indicators. We are expecting to reach double digits, if not exceed double-digit growth this year. The good management of the pandemic situation in recent months has helped a lot towards that, and with starting large-scale vaccination and expecting inflows and diaspora tourism during the summer, we expect the economy to rebound quickly over the next months and years.
Great. We wish you all the best. I hope
you
you have an excellent growth in your economy, and I hope we'll have the opportunity to host you again next year here and in other fora that we're going to organize in Tirana and other places as well. I thank you very much. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude our forum, and we thank you very much. I must tell you, always the first event is a kind of a pilot project, so we learn from the mistakes we have done today. However, we're going to stay here, and we are going to come back, and we're going to continue this effort. Minister, I thank you very much. Yes, thank you deeply. And just one final word to say thank you to my partner, Aris Vlachos, all the speakers, and of course the Minister from Kosovo, the sponsors, the technical crew. Mihailo, thank you very much, everybody. And of course, Alina Gorgis and Chrysanthi Vlachou, my colleagues, who were great to sustain this event. Thank you very much. See you next year, early.